what I really wanted to spend some time on this week is the fallout that we're seeing from the anti-trans and anti-LGBT legislation that's been going on in the Bible Belt and other associated GOP havens in the United States. And if we have enough time, I feel like we really should talk about the Utah anti-porn legislation because, fuck, we are the butt of jokes worldwide right now, and it makes me so sad. And we also do have a fun little email I want to bring up because Kyle and I are going to have to address it, specifically emailing back, which is going to be fun. So anyway, with the anti-LGBT legislation, most people know that Tennessee, North Carolina, Mississippi, all these places have been passing all these bills. But surprisingly, as much shit as we give the guy, Donald Trump has come out and said, even though it's against the party policy, that he doesn't care what bathroom that trans people use.
And this is exactly why Ted Cruz is so much worse than Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Trump isn't about sexist and about racist, but not as bad.
Yeah, it's not nearly as bad. So, I mean, in this case, it was specifically garnered towards Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah. But I was refreshed to hear such a progressive view coming from the GOP frontrunner. You know?
Guys, there's been a few times that we have actually said Donald Trump is not wrong this time.
He's just dumb.
Like 90% of the time, he's so.
It feels so terrible to say Donald Trump is not the worst choice that the GOP has.
I mean,
oh my God.
The whole pick your bathroom, we don't give a shit what you pick thing isn't anything for us to say. I mean, because like we're like, yeah, just pee in whatever bathroom you feel most comfortable in. But for the den of trolls that is the right, it's really fucking refreshing to hear their like main candidate. Like okay, the GOP does not want Trump. They want someone else, anybody but Trump. I mean, they've hinted at this for the fucking like broker convention for however long they've been doing this shit. But it's just really refreshing to me to see somebody going, yeah, I don't care. Fuck it. Whatever bathroom you want to be in. That's good with me. And so it's really sad to say that. But at the same time, the UK has put out a foreign travel advisory against visiting specific parts of the United States, significantly North Carolina, Mississippi.
Yay! Not that many people from the UK want to visit those parts of the country.
I mean, North Carolina, if you're like into like history of pirates and stuff like that, there's some cool shit in North Carolina, but pirates. I'm sorry.
like seriously, like the UK is like don't go visit your family there.
Well, like, they're trying to say like, look, there's a multitude of people, the way that people think and the way they act in America. Please travel accordingly because your way of life may not suit everybody that lives there. And for the most part, 90 fucking whatever % of the time, people aren't going to have a fucking problem with this kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, they have to put this out there because they don't want people to travel abroad thinking, you know, everything's going to be hunky-dory everywhere that I go in America.
Yep.
So.
Well, I mean, and here's the reality. These bathroom bills, they further demonize a group that's already at risk. And this means that people are going to get hurt. Trans people are going to be hurt because of this. Yeah. Nobody else is going to be hurt because of this. Trans people are going to be hurt. You're not going to see a drop in bathroom attacks on women. You're not going to see that drop. It's going to keep happening at the same rate. But you are going to see an increase in violence and attacks and arrests of trans people for doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It's really truly terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
There's that back to that video I showed you. There was the gay woman, the lesbian woman, who looked mannish. Yeah, she did, I guess. Masculine. What one could easily, like, colloquially refer to as masculine. And 2 male police officers went into that women's restroom to escort her out physically.
Yeah, and they were male police officers, too.
And demanded ID that she prove she's female. Well, all the women in the bathroom are sitting there screaming, "She is!"
Yeah.
And then they put hands on her to remove her from the bathroom.
Yeah.
She wasn't even a trans person. She was
It's terrible.
She was, and why? If she was trans, why would she look mannish? That's not how this works.
And so for this, the UK coming out and saying all this stuff. So unfortunately, President Obama had to do a world tour recently. I mean, he went over to go visit the Queen of England because she was celebrating some. Is she an octogenarian or a nonagenarian now? I don't fucking know. I think she's 90 or something now, but
she's old.
She's old. Old enough that the prince is like, fucking die already. I'm old as shit.
He pushed a bunch of her.
No.
Stuff, though.
He's not going to say just die already. It'll be much more. Would you
much more polite. If it's not too much of an inconvenience for you, mother.
If you don't mind, mother, would you please?
Would you please perish for me, please?
If you don't mind, please, would you kick off already?
Mother, if you would be so kind as to drink this hemlock tea.
So I have video of, or I should say audio of Obama essentially apologizing and calling for the overturning of bills in Mississippi and North Carolina while in England. Jeez. And oh boy, the right had fun with this one. They're like, oh, sure, he's safe to say this when he's over there. Just hang on.
Maybe I'll start with North Carolina and Mississippi. I want everybody here in the United Kingdom to know that the people of North Carolina and Mississippi are wonderful people. They are hospitable people. They are beautiful states. And you are welcome. And you should come and enjoy yourselves. And I think you'll be treated with extraordinary hospitality. I also think that the laws that have been passed there are wrong and should be overturned, and they're in response to politics in part some strong emotions that are generated by people, some of whom are good people, but I just disagree with.
Would he not be like hailed as one of the best presidents in the world? Or best presidents of time if he didn't have this fucking GOP cock-blocking fucking Senate and Congress that are just saying no to everything?
I think history's going to remember him very fondly, actually.
Oh, it will. It will.
Because
history's going to be very, very kind to him.
He's not saying, hey, England, I'm sorry for America. He's not saying that. He's saying, hey, come visit them anyway. You know, most of the people you're going to meet are going to be great people. He's like, I think that these things should be overturned, and that everybody is saying that are making these laws based on emotion and, you know, very strong personal feelings, but, you know, that does not make legislation.
Don't worry. Well, don't worry. It's not going to stand. It's not going to stand a test.
No, but in the meantime, there are some people who are going to be very affected by it, and it's just like Utah's gay marriage ban didn't stand, and then we had it for 30 days and then didn't. I mean, that affected people really negatively. This is
it did.
Even more dangerous. Every day that it is still a law in these places, it's abhorrent.
Yeah,
it's abhorrent.
Well, and Governor McCrory agrees with President Obama that all people are welcome to the state, and everybody will be treated with extraordinary hospitality. Okay. However,
not a racist, but
I'm not a pervert, but the governor respectfully disagrees with the political left's national agenda to mandate changes to basic common sense restroom norms.
There's that
common sense.
Look, dude.
There's that common sense again.
The left does not give a shit what bathroom or whatever water closet or anything people fucking use. Nobody cares. I mean, I'm not even going to talk for all the left. I don't give a fuck if a woman comes into a men's room. I honestly don't give a fuck.
No.
She's not gonna like saddle up to the fucking urinal. And if she is, fucking more power to her. Be like, yeah, get it. You know, be like,
there is technically a way for females to direct the stream, but I'm not really interested in making that a reality.
But at the same time, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, there's a woman in here. I better just. I'm not going to pull my pud over some lady taking a shit next to me in the stall. I don't know why this is what he says here. What are the words? Let me quote this again. The political left's national agenda to mandate changes to basic common sense restroom norms.
Yay!
You're the ones making the changes, fucker.
Trans
We
people.
were fine.
Trans people have used the whatever bathroom of their choice for ad nauseum, ad infinitum from fucking ever. That's kind of redundant, but you know, they've used the bathroom of their choice, and most people haven't noticed, don't give a shit, and it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, because you lost your gay marriage thing, you're like, well, fuck. Now we got to pick on the trans people.
See, here's the thing: is that
I'm waiting for atheists to be the next attacked group. I'm waiting for like, okay, we sort out the LGBTQ IA, you know, all of the.
Here's why atheists can't be attacked that way, because you can't look at them.
Yeah, you can't call us out unless you're wearing an atheist shirt.
Right, and guess what? I actually don't wear them every day because I don't need to.
I wear my my Atheist of Utah lanyard at work every fucking
I've got
day.
my atheist stuff, but still, that's just a lanyard. Who's really paying attention to lanyards? And nobody, because it's really not a big deal. But my point being, they think, again, this is where it comes down to, they think they can target trans people because they think they can spot them.
Yeah, and they can't. Honestly, they cannot.
Yeah. No. But that's exactly why atheists will not be able to be targeted in these same ways as much as they would fucking love to, and I guarantee they would fucking love to, because they already talk mad shit on us, and we are the most hated group in America. Mm-hmm. They can't actually target us. Because you can't look at somebody and be like, they don't believe in God.
No, they're confusing trans people with drag queens. That's really what it is.
That's really what it is. And drag queen is an art form. It's a performance. It is purposely over the top.
I know.
I fucking love glam rock. You mean, if I went to some sort of party or something like that, dressed up like Meat from Phantom of the Paradise, you know, would that be something to be like, oh, he's trying to be trans? No, I'm just glam. That's all there is to it.
That's just it. They're confusing a performance art with the real world.
Yeah, and that just does not work. So, since we're talking about more fallout of everything that's happening with the LGBT thing, a trans boy teen was recently removed from a Ted Cruz rally and was called ma'am, and all of the text here that we have is from the Noose Over Us movie. I'm going to let the boy talk for himself. Hang on.
So, as a member of the LGBT community, and considering that Ted Cruz is...
This is James Van Cuylenberg. And his mother went to a Ted Cruz rally in Maryland. So it's a 16-year-old boy who is transgender, wanted to go hear what Cruz had to say, and draped himself in the trans flag.
Yeah.
And went to the meeting. Hang on.
Extremely homophobic and transphobic. I came here to represent the LGBT youth who are hurt by his propaganda and rhetoric. So, as youth watching TV, learning about politics, and knowing that there are people who hate me before they even know me is disgusting, and I want the people there to know that it's disgusting. So, we reserved tickets beforehand because we wanted to see the speech. So, we brought signs, but we left them outside, and we showed our tickets, and they were like, okay, sit down. So, we sat down, and we were just sitting there, and all of a sudden, this guy comes behind us, and he touches my shoulder, and he's like, ma'am, the event staff is asking you to leave. And I was like, well, I'm a boy.
That's fucked up right there. Ma'am, you need to leave. I'm a boy. Fuck you. God. Man.
Ma'am, you need to leave?
Ma'am, you need to leave.
Why are they asking me to leave? And he was like, well, all I can say is that they're asking you to leave. I was like, I'm not going to leave without a reason. So they led us to the event staff along with a cop that was standing there. And they were like, this is a private event and we can ask you to leave because you're trespassing. They still wouldn't give us a reason. And so I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm like visibly trans. Is that like some sort of reason? They were like, all we know is that you were involved in an incident outside. I was like, where I was standing peacefully with my sign, and they were like, well, and then they wouldn't answer it. And so we got kind of fed up, and we were like, okay, we'll just stand outside and tell everybody what just happened, because Ted Cruz kicked me out of his rally. I didn't see him at all. I couldn't hear the speech just because I was trans.
See, that's some fucked up bullshit right there.
That's disgusting.
Yes, it is.
He still looks pretty early in his transition. Obviously, I mean, he's 16. How long has he really had? And doctors are very, very wary about giving teenagers hormones for obvious reasons. Okay.
What's fucked up is that they said that they were trespassing they bought tickets. They had tickets to this event.
Exactly. And
they weren't disruptive. They weren't disrespectful. They were just, you know, getting into the place. They took their seat.
Just there.
They were just there. Yeah.
And so the staffers asked them to leave. And on the way out, James said on his Facebook page that the staff members repeatedly grabbed him and ultimately pushed him out of the venue. He says that they called him ma'am and told him he was trespassing.
That's disgusting.
This is just the smallest little bit of fallout that we've had from these brand new 2016 Jim Crow laws that we've been seeing fucking passed. And so,
all right, let me tell you something I'm really proud of from this weekend. So we had a Democrat throw in his hat for well, he calls himself a Democrat for Senate against Mike Lee.
Yeah.
And his name was Jonathan Swinton, and I got to hear him speak on multiple occasions, and this guy was not a Democrat, all right? I mean, I'm not either, but...
Was he a dino, Democrat name only?
Yes.
Okay.
He was... I like to say that he was a Republican in blue wolf's clothing, and blue sheep's clothing.
Gotcha.
And he was... He was pro-life, which he realized was not popular, so he was trying to like just not talk about that anymore. And that he was running unopposed he didn't have another Democrat running against him. Well, a woman I used to work with actually decided she was going to run against him and actually run as a progressive, and she's trans. And she got the endorsement of the Women's Caucus, the Latino Caucus, the Labor Caucus. She got a ton of endorsements from very good people. She got up there and talked about the need for medical access, for women to have access to their health care. She talked about she talked about the issues that really matter. She talked about minimum wage being an incredibly important thing that we need to increase. She talked about and as a member of the Senate, her position on these is incredibly important. The first balloting, they came out close to 50% each, meaning that nobody got the 60% to get the nomination. Swinton has been running this campaign for months now, and she just started hers in February, and she got 50% of the delegates on the first balloting. And I'm standing in line for the second balloting because I was proud to cast my ballot for her.
Mm-hmm.
We were standing in line for the second balloting, and two women behind me were like, I'm voting for Swinton because there's no way he could ever possibly get elected. And it's better for us to have, and they did the, it's better for us to have a small voice than no voice. I'm like, wait, you're actively going to vote for somebody who will vote against women's rights. You are going to cast that ballot. They're like, well, it's better to have another Democrat there than just another Republican. I'm like, he's not a Democrat. Like, he is on some issues, and I'm like,
no.
So,
boy, I hate these ladies.
Support public land grab. That doesn't make him a fucking Democrat. That makes him a rational being in that one area.
Disgusting.
And yeah, and they sat there and said, "Well, she'll never win." I'm like, how proud would you be for Utah to nominate a trans woman to stand on the same stage as Mike Lee and force him to face that?
That'd be awesome. I would fucking love that.
So the second ballot came out to 50%, and we are now in a primary in Utah for puffy face Swinton against a trans woman. Fuck yes.
And on top of that, 80% chose fucking Mike Weinholz over Vaughn fucking Cook.
Fuck yes.
That's goddamn amazing, because Vaughn Cook, your doctorate of Oriental medicine, you fucking shill hack. I hate you.
Vaughn Cook, he's a con man.
He's a
terrible bad person.
Man.
He broke so many rules in the election that like
I went on a mission.
He get like charged with anything, but he played the game shady. And one of the things he did was he published this pamphlet at the convention this weekend that said he, citing polls show Vaughn Cook is 85% more electable than Mike Weinholz.
Bullshit.
That was the thing he was running on, is since he was Mormon, he was more electable.
Well, and what I hate is that they're like saying, okay, we have hard Republican versus somewhat Republican. Instead of you knowing Republican versus liberal.
Well, he just got a Republican running mate.
Yeah.
She changed her party just before the announcement.
Yuck.
And his thing was, it's because we need to compromise. No, fucker, no.
And
We have a super majority, and you want to throw another one up there?
You saw the
this poll that he cited, this 85% was from IO data.
Oh no.
IO data doesn't fucking exist. It popped up a week ago. He fucking made it up.
And you guys saw the bucket of yuck that it was that was Herbert and Cox putting up at their at the national, not the national convention, the Utah convention for Republican, where they were saying like Kitchen versus Herbert. Google it.
Yeah.
First of all, that was a loss for you, Gary Herbert. It was a huge waste of taxpayer money, and at the same time, you fucking lost, you dummy.
And guess what? Even Utah Republicans are eating themselves because they are going to a primary. The Utah Democrats, overwhelmingly, 80% voted to nominate Mike Weinholz after he announced that his wife Donna is under investigation for using marijuana medicinally.
Because most of us don't give a shit.
Exactly. Actually, I mean, I was sitting there when it was announced, and this woman goes, he said that, and she goes, oh, that's bullshit. And she pulls on her Mike shirt.